Hello viewers at home, my name is Engineer Will.I.Am plus S in case you are hearing my voice for the first time. Still on equilibrium of rigid body. In today's class, I will be showing you how you can use sine rule to find tension or to calculate equilibrium of rigid body. In the previous class, I showed you how you can use Pythagoras theorem and SOHCAHTOA, that is a trigonometric ratio, to find either the tension or the angle when a rigid body is in equilibrium. So let's go. Today's question, we have a handbag containing some load weighing 162 Newton is carried by two students, each holding the handle of the bag next to him. If each handle is pulled 60 degrees to the vertical, find the force on each student arm. The force which each student is applying to carry the bag, that is what you are required to find. So what do we do here? I'm going to use a little sketch. So let me assume that this is the bag, the handbag. So one of the students is holding it here, and one of the students is holding it here. This is the handle of the hand of the one of the student, and the other student holds it here. But they say that each handle is making an angle of 60 degrees to the vertical. So this is vertical, it makes an angle of 60 degrees. So this one will also make an angle of 60 degrees to the vertical. Remember, the weight of this bag is 162 Newton. 162 Newton. That is the weight of the bag. So if you look at this particular diagram very well, there are some things you can decide to do if you have done a plane geometry. I can decide to draw an invisible line here or an imaginary line here. So if I have imaginary line here and also here is alternate to this place. So here should be 60 degrees. This is also alternate to this, so here should also be what, 60 degrees. Then here will be 30 degrees. Here will also be 30 degrees. Then this angle here is 90 degrees, and this is also 90 because it's right angle triangle, right angle. So if I now bring out that diagram, look at what I'm going to have here. Remember, this weight is 162 Newton. So the tension on this arm, should be equal to the tension on this arm. But the question is, you have to look for the tension on each arm. So if you look at this particular force, the angle for the force, the angle of this particular force is from here to here, which should be equal to here, which is 120 degrees. Then for this particular one, which is the first tension, so the angle is here to here, which is 90 plus 30, which is also 120 degrees. Then the last one, which is here, this particular handle, the angle is also 30 plus 90, which will give us 120 degrees. And we're asked to look for the tension on each arm. So we're going to use sine rule. Using sine rule, when you're applying sine rule, I'm going to have T over sine, what is the angle for T? 120. Should be equal to 162 divided by, what is the sine of 162? Also 120 degrees. So that T, if I cross multiply, I'm going to have T sine 120 equal to 162 sine 120 degrees. So if I make this sort of formula, I'm going to have T equal to 162 sine 120 degree divided by sine 120 degrees. So this will cancel out this, so that your tension will be equal to 162 Newton. So the tension or the force on each arm is 162 Newton. So the answer to the question is B. But if you are to look for the force on both arms, the answer becomes 324. That is how you solve such question using sine rule. I believe you understand it. Let's try one more question on equilibrium of rigid body. So in this particular question, they say the value of T in the figure below is, we're looking for T. So remember, if the angle of inclination is equal, the tension must also be equal. So let me do the same thing I did initially. So I will draw imaginary line here. So if I have imaginary line here, if here is 30 degree, here will be 30 degree, and here will also be 30 degree. So that here will be 60 degree, and here will be 60 degree. Then here will be 90 degree, and here will be 90 degree. So what I have now is this. This is what I have here. So here is 20 Newton. Then here is tension, and here is also tension. So what is the angle for the 20 Newton? The angle for the 20 Newton is, that is for this, is 60 plus 60, which is 120 degree. Then the angle for this is 90 plus 30, which is also 120 degree. And the last one is also 120 degree. So I can use the same sine rule as the previous question, so that I'm going to have T, I can take any of the tension, it's the same thing. T over sine 120 is equal to 20 over sine 120 degree. So that T, if I make this out of formula, I'm going to have T equal to 20 sine 120 divided by sine 120 degree. So that sine 120 will cancel sine 120, so that the tension will now be 20 Newton. That is how you solve equilibrium of rigid body. Thank you for listening. Please do well to subscribe.